is real. Seek help and the stigma. On the news this evening, federal lawmaker alleges plot to stop Rivers LG allocation. Stakeholder hits back at critics of Rivers' new 85,000 naira minimum wage. House of Reps to summon FCT Minister others over insecurity. On the foreign scene, Russians fear dead after plane shot down in Sudan. I am Kaladakuru Batbo. We'll go for a quick commercial. When we do come back, then in detail. Welcome back. Now the news in detail. Opposition lawmakers in the National Assembly have raised an alarm over an alleged fresh plot by groups loyal to the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, to secure a court injunction to stop the monthly allocations to local government areas in Rivers State. The spokesperson of the coalition, Ikenga Ugochiri, raised the alarm in a statement today. He alleged that the pro-Wike group has already filed a legal process at the Federal High Court seeking to withhold the monthly funds to the LGAs in Rivers State. Meanwhile, lawyer Eugene Ode says the federal government does not have the legal power to withhold funds accruing to the local government. Mr. Ode said this during an interview with correspondent Soibi Oduwari. He said the Supreme Court's judgment granting financial autonomy to local government areas is unconstitutional.
That judgment of the Supreme Court was at the discretion of governors to either adhere to it or not. If they did not adhere to it, it has no legal consequence. One of the reasons why these governors decided to insist on conducting those was because of the threats coming from the presidency. So of course, if you ask me, it's an illegality. Federal government does not have the power, they do not have the right to withhold funds accruable to local government councils. They don't have such powers. Unfortunately, some of these governors decided not to go to court. I heard that one or two went to court to challenge that position of the Supreme Court and also to challenge the position of the federal government to withhold funds.
He warned of a constitutional crisis if the state government is forced to comply with the Supreme Court judgment on local government financial autonomy.
That the Supreme Court does not have the power to amend the Constitution, which said power resides in the National Assembly. And until the National Assembly amends this Constitution, any pronouncement that runs in conflict with these provisions of the Constitution is a nullity. It becomes unenforceable. Because this same Supreme Court themselves held this position that I'm holding now in 2022, when they ruled that the Executive Order number 10 of President Muhammadu Buhari that seeks to grant local government autonomy runs foul of this same provision, Section 162 of the Constitution. And it was for that reason that executive order was set aside and struck out.
The lawyer said he is disappointed that state governments are yet to seek further interpretation of the Supreme Court judgments.
that judgment of the Supreme Court was at the discretion of governors to either adhere to it or not. If they did not adhere to it, it has no legal consequence. One of the reasons why these governors decided to insist on conducting those was because of the threats coming from the presidency.
Apologies for the mix-up there. In other news, a Labour lawyer, Emeka Wosu, says those criticizing the 85,000 naira minimum wage announced by the Rivers State Governor are opposition members. Dr. Wosu, a lecturer in the Faculty of Law at the Rivers State University, dismissed reports that the approved minimum wage is an attempt to compete with Lagos State.
Governor of Rivers State has gone beyond the 70,000 minimum to say I will pay 85,000. So I do not see any reason why people will say, but that's the problem with people. Maybe those who are talking from the opposition perspective. So they want to criticize whatever the governor has done. So when people begin to make an argument from political point of view, we get worried. These are not issues. Governor say 85,000. How is it competing with Lagos? The national minimum wage has been passed into law, and no state should pay below.
The legal practitioner also said Governor Fubara, a chartered accountant and a civil servant, will not approve a minimum wage which will negatively affect the state's economy.
A government is saying now I will pay this because I have the financial muscle and capacity to pay. And now people will say, no, it will affect the economy. Who is the chief economic officer of the state? It's not the governor. The governor knows how much income enters the state. He knows how much income the state is generating internally. So he must have put all these things side by side before coming to say I will pay. And he knows the number of civil servants in Rivers State. He knows his wage bill at the end of the month. And he said I can do this. I do not think there's any way it will negatively affect the economy of Rivers State.
Moving on, the Eze Ekpeye Logbo, the third of Ekpeye ethnic nation, Eze Calvin Anugo, has condemned the recent killing of 5 innocent and law-abiding citizens of Ekpeye land at Edoa community yesterday morning by unknown gunmen. In a statement, the royal father expressed hope that the latest killing, which he described as the height of abuse of human rights and a rape of justice, will spark the needed challenges to awaken the consciousness of protection of the people of Ekpeye land by the government in order to bring the perpetrators of these dastardly acts to book. He urged the Nigeria police and other security agencies to go after the culprits and end the carnage and bloodshed in Ekpeye land. Also speaking, the Special Assistant to the Eze Ekpeye Logbo of Strategic Planning and Communication, Tony Ijere, expressed shock and disappointment at the incident, especially as it came at a time when all hands are on deck to eradicate the level of crime in Ekpeye land. He assured the people of Ekpeye ethnic nation that very soon the evil will stop. A social-political organization, the Simplicity Movement Group, has adopted and endorsed the chairman of Ekpeye local government area, Uzodinma Nwafo, as a patron of the group. The endorsement was made during a congratulatory visit to the chairman led by the group's state representatives Hope Adampa and Simeon Nwafo in Okeyi. Coordinator of Simplicity Movement in Ekpeye, Precious Samuel, said the group came to show support and solidarity with Dr. Nwafo and congratulate him on his victory in the recent local government elections. She thanked Dr. Nwafo for granting them an audience and assured him of their support to ensure his government's success.
Simplicity Movement Ekpeye chapter is solidly with you. We are ready to go anywhere you want us to go. We are ready to come out anytime you want us to come out. And once again, we want to say thank you for granting us audience to interface with you one-on-one. It has not always been like this in Ekpeye local government. But today, we are here talking with you one-on-one. You are a man who has a listening ears.
Also speaking, the Secretary General of the Simplicity Movement, Ekpeye chapter, Eugene Wokogba, described the visit as unique and historic, being the first since the group's formation, and urged the chairman to place the group at the forefront of his political structure. In response, the chairman of Ekpeye local government area, Uzodinma Nwafo, thanked the Simplicity Movement group for their visit and support. He assured the group that he will continue to work in the best interest of Ekpeye development and promised to liberate and protect the local government under his leadership.
People like us will have to go into wilderness to pray for our governor to win the battle. I have come to be with you. Let them make noise. Let us see. Fubara must breathe. Eche under Similaye Fubara must breathe. For 2 weeks now, you can see that Eche is at peace. Assist me the way I will assist you, for we to make sure that simplicity dominates in this Eche.
Our correspondent reports that the HA Council Chairman also promised to acquire a utility vehicle to support the group. An educator, Ikechi Wogu, has linked the increase in Nigeria's out-of-school children to the plight of homeless youths who form families on the streets. Mr. Wogu's remarks followed the World Bank report that revealed over 20 million Nigerian children are not attending schools despite the country's population of about 230 million. Speaking on Wazobia FM's Oga Madam show, Mr. Wogu said the inaction of the government and society has also contributed to the increase.
So these boys, as they done, they grow now. Then get the boys, then get the girls. When they do anything, then those ones that like born through away, they no get papa, woman carry belle, man no claim the pikin. Now these ones now, then go find girl too with the street too. All of them go come colobi, come born pikin. Now so the thing they increase. It's a cycle. But the thing they say, attention needs to be paid, and to say that the government, the family, the society is not paying attention. Now just yap with the yap there.
Mr. Ogu, who warned that these out-of-school children pose a security risk, urged parents and religious institutions to teach children family values.
Anybody feel use them do anything. If you want to use them do electoral violence, them do should be na them. So now studies, they talk say some politicians, they arrange them for their states. They keep them for the next election. It's a hydra-headed problem, but we can start with family values. And these family values, where will they pick the family values? Some of us where they go church, some of us where they go mosque. All these religious sense, every one of us get one uncle, we get sent somewhere, or one auntie, we get sent, we suppose advise us. So all of these things, they come together form value.
The educator who categorized Nigerian children into schooled, semi-schooled, and unschooled noted that the semi-schooled are mostly those who often engage in crimes like theft and internet fraud.
Semi-schooled now, some of these ones with the public school, then fee speak some kind English, anyhow then cut and join. Those ones now semi-schooled. Those ones now, the semi-schooled, oh, we never even go that area. Because some of those semi-schooled children, now people will sabi use phone, internet. Then anybody will feel teach them no morals. Yahoo, then don't enter. Hey, waiting, who education help? And you see, our parents, they encourage them. Because when you run street, now you go see, boy, we don't use Yahoo, we don't use thief. You don't build house. You don't buy car for mama.
He emphasized that education is essential for success, dismissing the belief that school is a scam. Recall that the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, earlier said that the over 20 million out-of-school children in Nigeria are only being prepared for recruitment into Boko Haram and banditry in the next 10 to 15 years. Still to come, House of Reps to summon FCT Minister, others over insecurity. Please do stay tuned. We'll be right back after the commercial. Welcome back now to the rest of the newscast. A former president or a former member of the House of Representatives, Farouk Lawan, has been released from prison after serving his 5-year jail term. The former lawmaker, who was the chairman of the House of Representatives, had a committee probing the multi-billion naira petrol subsidy fraud in 2012, left the Kuje Custodial Center in Abuja today. He was convicted and sentenced to prison in 2021 for accepting a $500,000 bribe from Femi Otedola, then chairman of Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited, in what was a sting operation from the businessman. A faction of the PDP has approached the Zamfara High Court for an order to stop the party and INEC from stopping the National Executive Council meeting scheduled for Thursday. The suit was filed by Imam Awal, an ally of the chairman of the Governors Forum and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed. The suit also seeks to nullify all actions taken by the acting chairman of the PDP, Iliya Damagam. The House of Representatives has resolved to summon the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the Director General of the Department of State Services, Oluwatosin Ajayi, along with the FCT Commissioner of Police, Peter Opara, and other security stakeholders to address the worsening security situation in Abuja. The decision followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Haruna Dabo during Tuesday's plenary session. Dabo's motion focused on the resurgence of one-chance robberies, which led to the tragic death of his legislative aide, Nima Suleiman. Suleiman was abducted by unidentified gunmen on Thursday, October 17th, 2024 in Abuja. Despite her captors collecting ransom, she was killed. We'll go for another commercial. When we do come back, we'll take a look at the foreign scene. Embassy in Sudan says it is investigating reports that a cargo plane with a Russian crew was shot down in Darfur, a key battleground in the civil war between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces. Military sources told Sudanese media that the aircraft, identified as a Russian-made Ilyushin IL-76, was on a mission to deliver equipment and medicine to the army-held city of El Fasher. On Monday, the RSF said it had downed a Russian-made plane flown by the Egyptian military that it accused of bombing civilians, but Egypt denies accusations that it has been providing military support to Sudan's army during the 18-month conflict. A quick recap on the news this evening. You heard federal lawmaker Ikenga Ugochienri is alleged of a plot to stop Rivers' local government allocation. Labour lawyer Emeka Wosu has hit back at critics of Rivers' new 85,000 naira minimum wage. House of Reps is to summon the FCT minister, DSS DG, and others over insecurity in the FCT. On the foreign scene, Russians have been feared dead after a plane was shot down in Sudan. The news was edited by Oyekachi Wosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kalada Kurubatubo. Good evening. Do stay tuned.